Hey, welcome. Have you ever really thought about how you go from knowing 0 words in a new language to, well, actually having a conversation? How does a textbook pull that off, step by step? Today, we're going to break down one of the most popular English textbooks out there to see exactly how it's done.
So for this explainer, we're diving into Headway, a real classic in English language teaching. Let's think of this book as our map. It's been designed from the ground up to guide a total beginner through the, let's face it, pretty complex world of English, one single page at a time.
And that's the big question, isn't it? Because it's not just about memorizing a bunch of words. It's about building a whole new system in your brain. So, we're going to follow the exact path this book lays out and see how it works.
Right. Every language journey, no matter how big and ambitious, has to start with those very first words. It's all about making that first connection, that simple hello. Let's see how Headway gets the ball rolling.
And here we go, Unit 1. See? No complicated grammar, no scary vocabulary lists. It kicks right off with the most basic human interaction there is, meeting somebody new. This gives you a piece of language you can actually use from day one. That's a huge confidence booster right out of the gate.
What's so smart about this is how quickly it all becomes personal. You're not just learning random phrases. You're immediately asked to write about yourself, like in your own blog post. You're using this brand new language to talk about the one thing you're an expert on, you. That makes it instantly relevant and way easier to remember.
Okay, so once you can say hello, the world starts to open up a bit. The next step, naturally, is to get the words you need to actually describe that world. This is where building your vocabulary is absolutely key.
And the whole approach is super systematic. Just look at how the topics expand. You start with what's closest to you, your family, then your job, your home, the food you eat, your town. Each unit is like a new set of tools to describe another little piece of your life. It's like this logical, ever-expanding universe of words.
This is such a great example of how vocabulary isn't just a list of things. It's a tool for understanding how things relate to each other in the real world. Where's the cat? Oh, it's under the car. Where's the post office? It's next to the cafe. You're not just learning words. You're learning how to build a map in your head and then describe it to someone else. It's pretty cool.
All right, so you've got words. That's essential. But grammar? Grammar is the engine that actually makes the language go. I know it can feel like the scariest part, but it's really all about how it's presented. This isn't about memorizing boring rules. It's about getting the keys to express much more complex ideas.
And just look at how simple this is. Headway uses these little Grammar Spot boxes to basically boil down complex rules into simple visual patterns. Here, you've got the past tense of to be laid out so clearly. Positive, I was. Negative, I wasn't. There's no long, boring explanation. It's just the essential pattern your brain needs to grab onto. It's grammar made easy.
And then bam, you immediately use it. This is the secret sauce, connecting the rule to reality. The book instantly puts the present and the past side by side. You literally just learned was and were, and now you're using them to talk about today versus yesterday. It makes this abstract idea of tense feel totally real. It's almost like you're time traveling with your words.
So, you've got some words, you've got some grammar. But a language isn't just a pile of spare parts, right? Real fluency, that comes from weaving all of these things together. And that's the final piece of this puzzle.
A language is a complete system. And Headway gets this. It builds every single unit around 4 key skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. The thing is, they're not taught separately. They're all designed to work together to reinforce each other. What you read, you end up talking about. What you listen to, you might write about. It all connects.
First up, reading. You're not just reading boring example sentences, you're actually getting into some interesting content. Like here, you're reading about the incredible lives of Hedy Lamarr and Rosalind Franklin. This is how you run into new words and new ways of putting sentences together, but in a totally natural, compelling way.
Next up, listening. This is all about training your ear. So, in this exercise, you're listening to people talk about what time it is. It's a super practical skill tied to a real-world thing you do every day, and it trains you to catch the sounds, the rhythm, and the flow of spoken English.
Then we get to speaking, the active part. The book is constantly giving you little prompts to work with a partner, to ask and answer questions. When did you go to bed last night? It's pushing you to go from just knowing something in your head to actually saying it out loud. That's where the real confidence gets built.
And finally, writing. Hey, remember that blog post from the very first unit? The writing skill has been there from the start. It forces you to take all the words and grammar you've picked up and organize them into clear thoughts.
It really cements everything you've learned.
So, when you put all these pieces together, the simple start, the theme vocabulary, the clear grammar, and all the integrated skills, you start to see this really powerful and intentional method take shape.
And this is basically the whole philosophy in a nutshell. It's got a clear, logical structure that builds from the ground up. It mixes all 4 skills together so they help each other out. It uses topics that you can actually relate to and use in the real world. And the whole point of all of this is to do one thing: build your confidence, one small, steady step at a time.
But at the end of the day, a textbook is really just a guide. It's the map, the tools, the path. The real reason to learn a language isn't just to finish the exercises in a book. It's about where it can take you, the new places you can go, the new people you'll meet, the totally different ideas you can finally understand. A language is literally a key that unlocks entire worlds. So the real question isn't just what's on the next page, it's where will your journey take you next. Thanks for tuning in.